A very warm welcome to the new episode of Ink and Insights. This is your host Sumit Sarma Shamir. This is a Nepal-based podcast, and if you are interested in listening to the thought leaders and Nepali influences from around the world, please subscribe to my channel. I'm extremely pleased to welcome Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche in my program today. Born in 1975 in Newbury, Nepal, Rinpoche is an eminent meditation master among the new generation of Tibetan Buddhist teachers trained outside of Tibet. Mingyur Rinpoche teaches throughout the world with centers on 5 continents. He has authored several books, including 2 bestsellers, The Joy of Living, Unlocking the Secret and Science of Happiness, and In Love with the World, A Monk's Journey Through the Borders of Living and Dying. Both of these books have been translated into over 20 languages. His recent TED Talk is entitled How to Tap into Your Awareness and Why Meditation is Easier Than You Think. What an honor to have you in my program, Rinpoche. Welcome to Ink and Insights with Sumit Sarma Samir.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Rinpoche, you were born in Newbury, a remote Himalayan village in Nepal. How has this origin shaped your path as a teacher and a meditator?
Yeah, I was born in the right bottom of Mountain Manasilu. So my village name is Samagaon. So I was born there, and then I learned meditation from my father. My father Tulku Ojin Rinpoche. So he was a great meditation teacher. And then when I was 11 years old, I went to India uh, in, in the monastery, Sherabling Monastery, where there's my another guru, His Holiness Daisudhu Rinpoche. So I learned a lot of those teachings in Nepal and India.
After spending years in retreat and later traveling the world, what do you see as Nepal's unique spiritual contribution to global wisdom traditions?
I think Nepal is the birthplace of Buddha Shakyamuni. The Buddha was born in Nepal, and then the teaching Buddha achieved enlightenment in India, and the teaching is come from like what I learned. All this teaching is a Tibetan Buddhist tradition, but this teaching come from like India and Nepal. So like in Nepal, in my hometown, the wisdoms of Buddha's teaching is there in the culture, in the social norm. So when I was young, we all are really afraid of stepping the insects, even on the street. So this is the value of non-violence. So don't harm any life. Sometimes we drink the tea, fly jump in, so we protect that one. And also the what we call the view of impermanence. When I was young, I make these mud castles, the house from the sand and the mud, and they will collapse. And my grandmother said, "Oh, everything is impermanent, so everything's changed." And then there's what we call the view of basic innate goodness. So everybody has this wonderful nature, so we should respect. Like my mom said when I was young, I'm quite naughty boy, so I made a lot of mistakes. And my mom never say you bad. My mom said your action is not wholesome, but they're making separate from your action and who you are. So these are influenced by the Buddha's teaching that in Nepal right now, with the village, with the even mountain, in the social community is alive.
Wonderful. Rinpoche, what do you think Nepal's younger generation can learn from its deep Buddhist roots?
When I was young, in general, Nepali people not so much interested to learn these things, this wonderful, this, this wisdom tradition. But a lot of foreigners come to Nepal and they want to learn. But now there's a lot of young people in Nepal really interested to learn these wonderful teachings. So I think the interest is growing in Nepal.
That's something we got to be hopeful about.
Yeah.
And how do you see the role of monastic institutions evolving in Nepal today?
I think there's a lot of monastery. I think in the Kathmandu, sometimes what I call the city of the monasteries. So we have um, like in Buddhist tradition, we have these three vehicles, like foundational vehicle, the great vehicle, Vajra vehicle. So all this tradition, like Theravada tradition, Mahayana tradition, Vajrayana tradition, everything's there in Nepal. So we have a lot of monasteries. And actually, Nepal is very rich in this tradition, this teaching, this dharma. I think very fortunate to have all this lineage in one city. And of course, not just in the Kathmandu, throughout Nepal also.
Throughout Nepal, yeah, it gives real sense of fulfillment when one sees the monasteries around the Kathmandu valleys and also throughout the countries. People practicing that. You have spoken about the mind's ability to transfer suffering into peace. How can beginners start cultivating this awareness through mindfulness?
So normally what we call the monkey mind. So we all have that mind always talking bala 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 yada yada, and sometimes we have overthinking, we worry, stress. So how to work that with them, how to transform that into peace? First we need to know two things. So the first thing is what we call, don't try to fight with your own mind. So for example, if you tell yourself, don't think about dalbat, don't think about dalbat, what happened? Thinking about dalbat. So that is what we call aversion. Aversion. So when you try to push away, that things become bigger. Second thing is craving. So for example, if you want to go, if you want to give exam, we study all the knowledge and all the questions, all the answers. The moment you go to exam hall, your half of your brain will be empty. And you think, I know the answer, I need answer, I need answer, answer disappear. So the craving makes things disappear. Aversion feels things coming to you on purposely. So we need to let go of these two things. So how to do that? Through the mindfulness, through the awareness. Let's say if you want to practice breathing meditation, watch the breath. And what we call the essence of meditation is awareness. So in Nepal, we call os, right? Os, awareness. Meaning just to be aware of the breathing. So breath in, breathing out. So when we watch the breathing, dalbat may come, pizza may come, to-do list, past history, future plan. Let them come. All of this, let them come. Don't try to stop thinking. If you stop thinking, you think more. So what we call okay with not okay. But if you say everything okay, 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 and then if you lost with that, then big problem. Bioalsa, 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 we say in Nepal, right? So everything is a bioalsa.
Bayalza, Kazanza.
Then we lost. So if you go to the shopping mall, buy also, then you cannot get anything. If you want to choose. Oh, everything okay? Everything okay? Doesn't work. If you go to the office, what you should do? What is the plan for today? Oh, everything okay? Everything okay? Then it become chaotic. So though one side everything okay, but another side you're not lost. So remember the breath, concentrate with the breath, aware of breath, mindful of breath. So then you become balanced. Everything's okay, but not totally lost. Bring back to the breath. So when we find balance with the breathing, then we free aversion and the craving. When we free these two things, then slowly we become peaceful, joyful. The real happiness comes within.
You describe awareness as a sky-like nature of mind. Could you elaborate on this metaphor?
So this is what we call the basic innate goodness. So Buddha said, like sometimes what we call tathata garbha. Tathata garbha meaning Buddha nature. So this tathata garbha or Buddha nature is true nature of all of us. It doesn't matter human, animal, birds. Everybody has this wonderful nature, but we are not recognized. Do you know what is this? Can you see? It's watch, right? What is the quality of the watch?
It
Tells,
tells you the time.
yeah, tell your time, right? So if you have the best watch in the world, but if you don't know your own watch cannot tell you time, even though it's the best watch in the world. So we have this wonderful nature, but we need to recognize it and maintain that recognition. If you not recognize, the nature cannot benefit. So this wonderful nature is like skies. So in Nepal, sometimes we have storms like tufan, right? Thunderstorm, snowstorm, pollution. 3 weeks ago, a lot of pollution. These pollutions cannot change the nature of sky. Sky is beyond peaceful all the time with all of us. So no matter what happened in our mind, maybe anger, hatred, depression, anxiety, stress, worry, all this cannot change our true nature, that is the inner sky. And this monkey mind, all this emotion is like storm of yeah,
That monkey mind tries to change you, but your innate never changes.
never changes, never changes. Always pure, always beyond, always present.
Right. Rinpoche, can you, it should be interesting for our viewers to understand. Can you share your own daily mindfulness or meditation routine and how has it changed over the years?
Yeah, I learned meditation when I was 9 years old due to panic attacks from my father. So he said the panic is like storm in the mountain, and the true nature is like sky. So these panics cannot change. I've been meditating when I was 9. Then when I was uh, I moved to Kathmandu when I was 9. Then 9, 10, 11 for 3 years. I stayed in Kathmandu with my father, learn all these practices. But I'm lazy. So when I when I was young, I'm lazy meditator. I love the idea of meditation, but I don't like the practice of meditation. So some days I practice a lot, some days zero, nothing. But now I meditate every day, like formal meditation about 1 hour. And then informal meditation, I meditate like anytime, anywhere. Normally, what we can meditate anytime, anywhere. So I try to practice it anytime, anywhere.
Right. And what role does the body play in mindfulness and meditation practice?
The Buddha said, mind and the body is like chariot and charioteer. In the ancient time, the horse with the chariot. So that chariot is like body, the charioteer is like mind. So they are works together, mind and body. So for the meditation, like formal meditation, we keep our spine loosely straight, balance all the muscles and relax muscles. Then we meditate. But with the informal, it doesn't matter. So you can meditate while you're eating, talking, working, sleeping also.
Right. So there's a need to sort of balance both body and mind together.
Yes, I mean, normally we need to balance for the body what we call resting aspect and active aspect. So you should rest, but don't rest too much. Exercise, moving, walking. Like traditional, we have this yogas or people doing kora. Kora in like Bodhanath, Swayambhu, everybody go round, round, round. So all this movement is important, and there's a presentation also. So we need to find balance, and also sleep, food. So four things for the body important: sleep, diet, the um, good kind of like healthy food, and exercise and resting. So four things very important for the body.
Right. And how would you explain the essence of Buddhism to someone who is completely unfamiliar with it?
So essence of Buddhist teaching three things. One is what we call awareness. Awareness meaning the fundamental quality of our mind has that knowing quality, right? You can see my hand, you can hear, you can experience in the body like temperature, warm, cold, pleasant, unpleasant sensation. That ability to know, feel, think is the awareness. And the recognition of that is the inner sky, recognition of inner sky for the awareness. Then there's a love and compassion. So karuna and metta. So to really wish you and everybody want to be happy, wanting to free from suffering. So karuna metta. And number three is the wisdom. So wisdom meaning to understand everything changing, impermanent. There's no ego like self, which is exist, but it's not nothing. The connection, everything is interdependent. Though there's no selfish ego exist, not exist. Yet there's a connection exist, interdependent. Because of everything connect, then it's changing. So these are the real essence of Buddha Dharma.
Yeah. Rinpoche, I mean, it's extremely difficult to, understand the essence when you say you exist, but you don't exist, right? How
Yes.
do human beings cope with that understanding?
We exist due to the link, connection. So Mingyur Rinpoche, my name is Mingyur Rinpoche. But name alone is not Mingyur Rinpoche. Name is just word. Maybe my body, the chest. Normally we think I'm here, around the chest. But this is a bone, flesh, blood. maybe brain, maybe sense, but these are just part. And maybe my mind. So what is a mind? It's thought, emotion, feeling, all the pieces. My title, my job title. But all these are connection. Each of them are not the Mingyur Rinpoche, but they come together. Interdependent connection. So because of if you have children, you become parents. Because of your parents, you become children. Because of your partner, you become husband or wife. Because of your student, your teacher. And in the company, because of your staff, you're the boss. You have boss, your staff. So it's just connection that you exist.
Very interesting. And what is the Buddhist understanding of suffering, and how is it different from simply avoiding pain?
Suffering, in Buddhism, we talk about dukkha. So the real meaning of dukkha is feeling of dissatisfying. So always feel like not enough, more, or feeling of incompleteness. Like deeper level, there's something empty. Even though you have fame, power, money, there's hollow. What is the meaning of life? The question about what is my purpose of life? Why I'm here. So Buddha has this question, he's in the Gabilpastu near Lumbini. So he have this question: what is the meaning of life? Where all this are come from? So because of this question become very strong, he left the country and become a meditator. So that is what we call dukkha, is feeling of incomplete or not satisfying, or looking for purpose. So if we can feel that one, then we are free from suffering.
तिमीसँग अब धेरै टाइम छैन है, बिहे गर्नु छ भने गरिहाल, नत्र घरबाट मलाई अन्त्य बिहे गरिदिनु।
भर्खर 3 वर्ष भयो एमबीबीएस जोइन गरेको। 5 वर्षको कोर्स हो। के भो? अचम्म छ। एक्सक्यूज मी सर। सर मेरो 5 वर्षको कोर्स 3 वर्षमा सकाउन मिल्दैन?
गेट आउट।
हेलो,
के सोच्यो त?
के सोच्ने? मैले प्रिन्सिपलसँग पनि कुरा गरिसके। 3 वर्षमा पनि के हुन्छ? के हुन्छ 3 वर्षमा?
के भयो भाइ? ल बस। साउजी एक कप चिया। कसले भन्यो 3 वर्षमा केही हुँदैन भनेर? यो हेर, एलआईसी नेपालको धनवृष्टि योजनामा 3 वर्षमा पैसा फिर्ता हुन्छ।
ए हो र?
जीवन बीमाको साथमा धनवृष्टि 3 वर्षमा एलआईसी नेपालको धनवृष्टि योजना। एलआईसी नेपाल।
Warm services to delight your senses. Taking hospitality to newer heights. Nepal Airlines.
Right. Well, we tend to keep asking these questions quite often. I mean, in our life, Rinpoche. Does that suggest that we all are living with this suffering all the time, most probably?
Yes, most of the time. We all are looking for happiness, right? Everybody looking for happiness 24 hours because this question. And everybody don't want to suffer because of this question. And maybe some of you are watching this video also looking for happiness. I don't know how much happiness you can get from watching this video. It's too late. Now you're already.
Your words and your wisdom would provide solace to a lot of minds, I'm sure. In your teachings, Rinpoche, how do you balance traditional Buddhist philosophy with modern science and psychology?
So I'm interested in science since childhood because there are many great scientists who come to learn meditation from my father. So in Kathmandu, while I'm in Kathmandu, there's like Francisco Varela, very famous neuroscientist.
Neuroscientist, yes.
Scientist.
I read about it. Yeah, him. Yeah.
Yes,
But he's already passed away.
he passed away already. So he came to learn meditation from my father. And there's a great writer like Daniel Goleman. Have you heard of Dan Goleman? So he wrote the book called Emotional Intelligence. He also come to learn meditation from my father. So I have a lot of opportunity to discuss with the scientists, those great people. And I always think the Buddhist teaching and this modern science are very getting close, So in Buddhist, we talk about impermanence. Everything's changing. So that is really clear in physics. So physics, all these atom, subatomic particles, even the terminology is very similar. So what we call dul meaning atom. Then there is subatomic particle, what we call dul-10. So dul-10 is subatomic particle. And the scientists thought they discovered this, First they thought they discovered atom, then they thought they discovered subatomic particles. But actually Buddha discovered this 2,600 years before. So in Buddhism, we have 12 to 13 subatomic particles. In science, they have many subatomic particles like proton, neutron, electron, all these things. And then in the end, these particles change impermanent and they connect each other, interdependent. Then nowadays, this is like within 10 to 5 years, it's very close to become shunyata, emptiness. So 3 years ago, one of the physics got the Nobel Prize saying that universe does not exist. And got the Nobel Prize. And Buddha discussed this 2,600 years before. Shunyata.
There was no Nobel Prize during that time, Rinpoche.
Yeah, no Nobel Prize.
Right. I mean, it's very interesting to understand, the religions and science are getting closer, but they were in constant struggle for many years, isn't it, Rinpoche?
Yeah, I think in the past, there's a lot of conflicts between some religion and the science. There were war about that. But I think with the Buddhism, like Einstein said, he really likes that if he want to say there's one religion that can work together with the science, that will be the Buddhist. So that Einstein mentioned about this. So I think that's true because I'm really interested to learn science. And when I learn science, it really helps my practice. and I also did a lot of participation for research with the neuroscience. University of Wisconsin, MIT, Berkeley. So I'm become guinea pig. They look at my brain.
Yeah, I saw your photos. In fact, they put a lot of machine in your brain, isn't it?
Yeah.
What were they trying to scan, Rinpoche?
So they try to see the brain, these signals, brain wave, all these things. So what they see is especially in 2002, that time, the first time to really big research about the meditator's brain. So I joined, not only me, there are 6 of us. So what they see is the gamma synchronized. All the different part of brain, the gamma synchronization become very active. So that means when you want to think, you can think. When you want to rest, you can rest. So it's kind of like mind become pliable and walkable. Normally, no dalba, more dalba comes. And then we think, I need sleep in the night, sleep disappear, right? It's not pliable. But through meditation, mind become pliable, walkable.
What does liberation or enlightenment mean to you beyond the religious concept?
So the real meaning of enlightenment meaning when we are fully recognize our true nature, the basic goodness, the nature of awareness, love and compassion, and the wisdom, when we fully connect with that one, fully realize that one. So that's what we call awaken.
Right. And is it true that you are empowered in a different capacity once you are enlightened?
Yeah, of course, once you're enlightened, then you're free from the suffering, that feeling of dissatisfaction, incompleteness, there's something missing, is gone. Then there's a feeling of contentment, joy. Not just that. There's a lot of all the what we call free, the kayas, wisdoms, everything manifest.
And I also wanted to talk about your book. Your book, The Joy of Living, introduced meditation to many readers. What motivated you to write this book?
Joy of living is inspired by science. So because I've been a lot of discussion with the scientists since 1998. First time I come to USA. I'm now in USA, New York. First time I visit America is New York, 1998. So at that time I met a lot of scientists and did a lot of discussion. Then I feel like this fascinating that this ancient teaching, modern science is like parallel. There are a lot of similarity, but nobody wrote a book about that. But that's the intention in the joy of living. I have a lot of science and Buddhist teachings together.
Yeah. And in love with the world, you share your experience of leaving the monastery for a wandering retreat. What is the most profound lessons you learned during that time?
So in love with the world is in 2011, I left my monastery in Bodh Gaya. I was in Bodh Gaya, so I escaped. Then I went on the street like beggar. No money, no house, nothing. So at the beginning, I have few thousand rupees, like 8,000 Indian rupees. They all gone. Then I beg the food, right? Because no money. I'm on the street. I'm like beggar. So then I got food which is not clean, dirty. So I got food poison. Almost die because vomiting, diarrhea, 5-6 days. Then in the end, my senses are shut down. I cannot see, cannot hear. Body become paralyzed. So at that time, I stay in the awareness. My mind remain in awareness. Awareness become very clear, present. Sensation gone, thought gone, then all the sense are gone. So I'm saying that I almost die, but that's one of the best experience in my life. So I feel like I really experienced the inner sky, that we all have this wonderful nature, right? So then I have this confidence that actually there's not really death, because awareness cannot die. Even the body is changed, even the body will die, but that awareness never dies. So that's the one of the most important lesson that I learned. And second lesson is I know how to survive. So you have to bake the food. You have to go on the street, right? So you will have to learn everything from the zero to how to survive.
Right. Rinpoche, at that point of time, did you ever feel that, the life is not worth living when you were suffering at that level, when you didn't have food and then you had food poison, as you said? Did you ever feel that it's not worth living? Did you ever feel bad about the whole process?
I never felt bad for living. I really kind of like aware of that. I was thinking, should I return back to my monastery or not? So that's debate. Should I go back? Should I stay? But then in the end, I make decision to stay. Let it be. So at that time, there's a little bit of fear. Because like dying. So should I stay? Should I go back? But there's no feeling about not worth living. All these things. I'm really still really appreciate that whatever experience that I'm having.
Right. Right. I think it's very difficult process. For general people like us to cope with that kind of, if we are faced with that kind of situation, isn't it? But thank you for sharing that. It's very positive inspiration. And how do your writings kind of balance vulnerability with spiritual insights?
So I always write with three things: the principle, the cognitive level of knowledge, then sharing direct experience through story, through example, and then how to apply in everyday life, the daily life application. So I write with all these three things weave together.
Yeah, all these three are important. And what advice do you have for readers who are inspired by your books but struggle to translate inspiration into practice?
I think it's very important that I combine these three together: intellectual study, learning, meditative or experiential practices. Then take this in your life little bit. So even though one day you cannot read all of those, but read one chapter or one section within that, and few pages, I think is also good enough. Then apply it. So when you apply, then the meaning become alive.
Sure. Yeah. And it's very interesting for me to know this, Rinpoche. Have you ever faced moments of doubts or crisis in your spiritual journey? How did you work through them?
Of course, when I was young, a lot of doubt, confusion. Like my father said, you have this wonderful nature, nature of you, nature of dog, nature of all the Buddhas are equal. And I never believed that. I thought, my nature of dog might be same, because I'm having panic attacks. I was not happy. How come my nature and nature of all this enlightened being is same? I never believed that at the beginning. A lot of confusion, a lot of doubt, plus lazy. But I think now I have full confidence.
Right. Rinpoche, how is it possible for people to maintain at this level where you are today, despite having many sufferings?
So we need to engage with this practice every day, little bit at the beginning. For example, if you are new to meditation, no need to practice every day a lot at the beginning. Even 5 minutes is quite good. But every day, for example, if you watch your breath, just 5 minutes per day. Or there's another meditation technique called mental recitation. In Nepal, India, and of course in the Tibet, many people use the mantra. So you can use any mantra. Like what I use is Om Mani Padme Hum. You can use Om, you can use anything. Recite in the mind without moving the lips. Close your mouth. And in the mind, you recite the mantra. So maybe you can do that one day for 5 minutes. But first important is you have to think, I will do this only for 30 days. Don't think rest of my life, then you cannot do it. Just think 30 days, 5 minutes only. So if you survive day 30, then you build new habit already. Then you see transformation, changes after 30 days. Like, the Dr. Richard Davidson, neuroscientist, very famous neuroscientist in America. So they did study about the meditation during the COVID time. So they teach the teachers and the hospital caretakers 5 minutes of meditation through the meditation app. So they meditate every day 4 to 5 minutes while they're waiting the next job or washing laundry, doing clothes. Then they check after 30 days, the panic, anxiety, stress, depression reduced 32%. Just 4 to 5 meditation for every day. So these things are very important.
Yeah, it's all about habit, isn't it?
Yes, true.
Yeah. Rinpoche, my last question to you for today's program. If you could offer just one teaching to someone who may never hear another word about Buddhism or meditation again, what would it be?
Appreciation. So practice gratitude, appreciate about whatever quality that you have. Everybody has this basic goodness, but sometimes we don't know. So just simple things to appreciate. Oh, I'm still alive. Wonderful. Though life is going upside down, but still I am alive. There's a roof above me. How nice. There's a ground beneath me. How nice. There's some food there. I have senses, eyes, ear. I can see the mountain, sky, cloud. Hear the bird singing. So just appreciate every day 3 things. That makes life different.
Rinpoche, I really appreciate your time for my program. Honestly, it's such an honor to have you here in my show. Thank you so much.
And I'm very happy also. And dhanyavad.